We have our Abuja Bureau Chief Tai Amodu with us now to give us an update on the meeting of the President with the leaders of Benue State yesterday. Of course, we have Charles and Dale still in the studio with us. Good morning to you, Tai Amodu. Now, what transpired among those men yesterday at the meeting?
The meeting was actually an opportunity for both sides to meet at a midpoint. You know, from Thursday when the burial had taken place of the 73 killed in Benue, up onto the weekend, there had been a narrative, a very, very tough stance that had been taken by the Benue State leaders concerning killings in their land and the fact that they would no longer tolerate or condone anything like that, and that they were prepared to defend themselves. So this meeting actually provided an opportunity for there to be a little bit of compromise, a little bit of shifting ground, because with the Benue leaders meeting with the president, it ensured that they could present their grievances to the president and get assurances from the president that these issues, especially killings, will be handled. And so it gave the Benue State people the opportunity to climb down a little bit on that tough stance and say that they were willing, to be law-abiding and to, follow the dictates of the land. But apparently, they still held on to their stand, that the open anti-grazing law that had been introduced in Benue State was actually the best way going forward. And that in an instance like this, there had been killings before the anti-open grazing law had come into being. And this anti-grazing law should have stopped that and provided protection not only for herdsmen, but farmers, but it was the instigation of the umbrella group of herdsmen, the Miyetiala, that actually escalated the crisis and caused the killings that happened January 1st.
Tai, what more can you tell us about the body language? I assume you were able to speak with some of the Benue leaders. How really satisfied were they? And then the question of some leaders in Benue State actually arming this herdsmen. Were there any clear answers that came from that?
These were the issue of arming of militia actually came up at the press conference, and the governor was emphatic that there was nothing like that. In fact, he gave the instance that, look, if the people that were caught, the militia that were caught in Taraba State, so if indeed there was an arming of militia, they would have been on ground to prevent the killings that happened on January 1st. As for the body language of the Benue leaders, they came out of the meeting at least a bit satisfied. You could see that from the banter between them and the president when they came out and took pictures, that, okay, maybe the president had been able to soothe their nerves, had been able to assure them, maybe the assurances that the president had given them had been enough to satisfy them that, yes, something would be done concerning bringing the perpetrators of these killings to book. Because, this is something that they are very, very concerned about, that the issue of impunity should be addressed. That herdsmen, militia should not just be coming into Benue State anytime they feel like it, killing people and saying it's a reprisal attack for maybe cattle that were lost and things like that. Because, the idea is, if your cattle has been rustled, you report to the appropriate authorities. You don't take the law into your hands. So that was one thing that they really wanted to come out of that meeting. And I think they were satisfied because immediately, the Inspector General was at the meeting. And the President Muhammadu Buhari, immediately directed the Inspector General of Police that he should ensure that anybody that was responsible for these attacks should be brought to book.
All right, Tai Amodu.
Should be apprehended and brought to book.
All right, thank you very much, Tai Amodu, our State House correspondent there, talking to us from our Abuja studio on the outcome of the President's meeting with Benue leaders. Of course, we still have Charles Ideho right here in the studio. Okay, so now Mr. President has said to the Benue leaders, accommodate your fellow countrymen in God's name. What's your reading of that?
Both is just asking for what already exists. Over the years, hundreds of years, Fulani herdsmen have always lived in Benue State. So which means they have already been accommodated. So it's merely stating what is already on ground. See, the thing that to get out of this quagmire, you don't just, first of all, what about the aggressor? You have invited those people who feel aggrieved that certain things were done against them. What about the aggressor? The aggressor in this case is the Tiala, because they are the one who have been firing from all sides, saying we are opposed to you. I expect the President, as a follow-up to this, to also call on the representative of Tiala to call them to order. Why are you opposed to this law? Why are these things? So that we'll be able to look for some ways to bring both parties to be able to look for people. Because what we are going to get now, if, as Tai Amodu said, that these people appeared to be happy. But you see, when you procure peace that is state managed, you procure peace that is like a force upon you, it won't last.
That's called the peace of the graveyard.
Exactly, because we are looking for an enduring peace that will endure.
So meaning that it's very important for the federal government, especially President Muhammadu, to be seen to be a political...
Exactly, exactly. That's right.
Middle, really.
I agree with you.
Not taking sides.
Okay, you are called the Benue leaders, good. Call the Tiala, who are also party to this feud. And of course, they are also the aggressors. Call them also to Abuja. Let's also hear from them. If after that, then also don't stop at that. The third place also bring both of them together, and then find a way to
meet each other halfway.
Exactly.
But President Goodluck Jonathan in 2014, let me just quickly throw this in. He said, "Look, these herdsmen are terrorists in the name of herdsmen."
Yes, I mean the issue of herdsmen
has
become what do they call it? They give you there's a name they call that thing when it's a brand now or something. You know, when they use that, if there are killings now, you need to do herdsmen, and then they hide. Nobody looks at them; they look towards the herdsmen, and the herdsmen may not be those who are doing that. You understand exactly?
Okay, thank you very much.
That's what it should be about.
Thank you very much, Charles Ideho, for your analysis on the show today. Public affairs commentator and journalist. Thank you for coming.